if you run into a rattlesnake, the best thing to do is grab it by the face with your bare hands and give it a good whip, and that'll take care of it. I'm kidding, of course. Good morning, guys. Utah Steve here, back for another day hike. Today we're hiking Jumpoff Canyon, just right here to my right. I was a little concerned because the trailhead, it's a very tiny parking lot and it's across the street from this church, and the road was marked closed further on up the road here. It was totally blocked off, but I squeezed around it because people do live in here and they left enough room for that. And thankfully, right over there is where the road actually closes, right before you enter the parking lot for the trailhead. Otherwise, I would have to go up the road to the Quail Loop trailhead, which connects eventually to this, but it's a much longer hike. And I only have about 2.5 hours to do this hike until I have to get my son from school. So we're gonna burn through this and have a good time enjoying the sun coming up over the valley. And let's get started. Let's not waste any more time. Okay guys, ready to go. Got my Teton Sports hydration pack on. I've done a video on this. Just recently posted a preview of it on my Utah Steve Outdoors channel, which you are watching. And here's our parking lot. 1, 2, 3, 4 parking spots on each side. 5 technically, if you got a motorcycle or a tiny smart car. At the Expedition, of course. That's how small this trailhead is. I find this kind of amusing. Attention trail users, parking lot and gates close at dark. There are no gates, so I guess just the parking lot closes. Now this first part of this trail goes through a neighborhood. You can't even see this map anymore. It's so washed out from the sun, which is too bad. They need to definitely fix that because it would be really handy just to see what else is available besides the Canyon Trail. This connects to the Bonneville Shoreline Trail, as most trails around here do. And up this way, that's Jumpoff Canyon. We're going up there. And I have about an hour to get up to the top, and roughly an hour and a half. That'll give me an hour and a half or so to come back down. Anyway, we got to walk by these people's houses. The trail goes right behind them, and then it disappears into the wilderness. So let's get started. Here's our trailhead. Like I said, right through the neighborhood. Alright, let's do this. Here's our first trail marker. All the way up here. Look at the view from up here of the parking lot. It's amazing. Astounding. Okay, Jumpoff Canyon to Bonneville Shoreline Trail, Nature Center North, and the Douglas Street Trailhead. Wow, not what I expected. This is like somebody's huge backyard. Okay, now if my yard had a trail running right through it, I would have a fence up. This would be awkward for whoever lives there. It's definitely awkward for me, walking right through their yard, really. It's a beautiful yard. It's be really quiet and respectful until we get through the neighborhood. And then it would make so much noise, you won't believe it, man. You'd be like, Utah Steve, why are you so loud? I'll be like, because there's no house. Look at this. Weird. Kind of cool though. Urban hiking. As you can see, it just turns into trails up there. I think that's it for the houses, really. Here's our view so far. Look at that bluebird. You see him? Maybe he'll hold still. Hey, buddy. This is where we're coming from. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look that up. Might be a future hike. And Jumpoff Canyon that way. What do you think? Another animal grave? Maybe. A little odd. Definitely something buried there. Maybe. Definitely. There's definitely maybe something buried there. Pile of babies. Just kidding. Look at this view. I'm not even that far into this. I'm like, I wouldn't even give it a quarter mile. I'm already up. Enjoying the view. I am going to be taking this hike at a very brisk pace, so I'm gonna sound winded through much of it because time is not on my side, but I did a test hike to Jumpoff Canyon from the other trailhead. It's further and less steep. I could have made this easier on myself by taking that trail. This has a lot more uphill on it going this way, but I wanted to see something I hadn't seen, and it looks like that's what I'm getting. Wildflowers. I have to watch out for rattlesnakes. They're coming out. There are people who have been hiking who have reported them along these trails. So I do have to be careful of that. Now, if you run into a rattlesnake, the best thing to do is grab it by the face with your bare hands, give it a good whip, and that'll take care of it. I'm kidding, of course. Honestly, I've run into them on the trail before, and just kind of stood there until they went away. And they will eventually. They don't want to confront you any more than you want to confront them. Not that they're not a danger. Here's our next sign. Jumpoff Canyon North, Jumpoff Canyon South. Now, this fork right here behind me, this is why it's called Jumpoff Canyon. Not because of suicides or parasailing or anything like that. My point is, you can either jump off right here and go that way, or you can jump off and go that way. Your choice. Both of them meet and go across the bridge and up the canyon. So right here we get to jump off. and go up the canyon, thus the name Jumpoff Canyon, which is deceiving. It makes, first time I saw the name, I thought it had something to do with people killing themselves, but nope. So the question is, do we take north or do we take south? North looks kind of steeper than south, so we'll take south and see what happens, and it'll be a learning experience for us all. As you can see, the sun has not quite come up far enough to hit me yet. Down there it's about 60 degrees. Up here I'd say 53 or so, according to my car. So I've got my puffer coat on, but that won't last. This is very cool. They say that the shortest distance between two places is a straight line. However, in our case, I disagree. This is one windy trail, but not too steep so far. This is these little signs are everywhere. Of course, they don't want people cutting through and destroying the trail. It's the Catholic Church down there. Celebrating another day of life, just like I am right now. Into the trees. Danger, open canal ahead. Now, there are two sections of this canal that are exposed. One is up that way, and we're not going there. The other one is right over here. My test hike, I found this. No swimming. Here's why. God, that's beautiful. Hey guys. I don't know if you can tell how crystal clear that is. This is absolutely stunning for a canal. It's not filthy and slimy like you'd expect. It's quite beautiful, actually. Here's our view. Ben Lomond off in the distance. Ogden down below. Great Salt Lake way out in the west. All that flat area is. Antelope Island right there. And my house is somewhere past that university, way out there. A lot of different cities in this area, not just Ogden. Ogden is kind of the central point, but there are many, many little cities throughout this area. I'm walking along this. You definitely would want to be careful around this if you come here at all with little children. Or even pets that might be adventurous and try to jump in. There is no fence. Got a little spillway right here, locked up. Some rapids. This is what I call a kid catcher. Kind of morbid, but yeah. You can see how fast that water is actually moving. Up here, it looks pretty calm and slow. And honestly, I can see how kids would be tempted to ride inner tubes down this. I kind of am. But you'd hit your head on that pretty hard. And then the water just goes nuts right here. continues underground. And there's our canyon. So I'm cooling off pretty quickly. I'm wearing a moisture wicking t-shirt. My preference when I hike or backpack. The sun is out on my face, on my body, and it's very easy to get overheated, even at lower temperatures when you're moving like this. You can see behind me I'm coming up a big hill, and we're almost to the point where we can start heading up the canyon. Here's where the North Trail comes up and meets us, right here at this intersection. This is where I came from the last time I was up here, and it winds back this way as well, down into there where the other trailhead is off in the distance over that little ridge. And this is where I first came in contact with this canal. Another kid catcher. This one a little more close together. And a place to hit your head if you're on an inner tube. Wow. So here we go. This points us back towards the North Jumpoff Canyon Trail, back that way, and the Bonneville Shoreline Trail, Jumpoff Canyon, etc. And here's our trail right here, kind of zigzags up that way. Here's our view. Pretty amazing. Still not up very high. Here's our next sign. Now this is what I took last time. I don't know why it's an alternate loop, but it definitely was an easier route to take. I don't know what the normal route is. This is the trail that I found going in the canyon, so we'll just take it again because I actually know where I am. I don't really have time to get lost today. Oop. Or break my nose. These cliffs are amazing. Camera really doesn't ever do it justice, but that's how it goes. A lot of switchbacks. This is kind of cool. Got some little cactus here growing. Some of it's starting to bloom. I think I might have moved. Anyway, so this is sort of a combination between desert and mountain. And this time of day, the snakes come out from the grass where they've been cold all night. Of course, being cold-blooded, they need to warm up. What a better place to do it than out in the open on a dirty trail where the sun is hottest. So if you go hiking on these trails, there is a good chance you'll run into snakes. Let's keep moving. These buffs that I wear on my head, this is a knockoff of the actual buff. If you buy Buff brand, It's like 20 bucks for one of these. I got a whole pack of 5 for $12 off Amazon. Made of the same material. Kind of a polyester, moisture wicking, sun protecting. I burn really easy. I have to have something on my head. I'm like Jim Gaffigan, really. I'm so pale. Not a thing I can do about it. Scottish ancestry. Maybe that's why I need to explore so much. I don't know. You can see our trail down there goes kind of, and then back this way, and then back that way, and then it comes down this way, and it continues on that way, and right there it goes back the other direction. I'm sitting in this high cliff area. Just need to catch my breath and cool off. I'm getting a little too overheated in the sun. This is definitely not what I would call a summertime hike, and it's getting pretty close to summer. Today is the last day of May, and temperatures are in the 70s. By the end of this week here in Utah, they'll be in the 80s and 90s. So I wanted to get this hike out of the way. It looks like someone else is coming up the trail a distance away. Or maybe they're on the Bonneville portion, but hopefully they're not coming up the canyon. One thing I like about this trail is not very many people hike it. I didn't even know about it. And I think a lot of the locals probably know about it, people who live right here, but I haven't heard many people talk about this. That's another reason I wanted to try it. I think it's time to get moving. Not sure where that guy went, but if he's, I don't think he's coming this way, but if he is, I don't want to have him in my video. Wow, there's a rabbit down there. Let's see if he comes out. Come on, buddy. There he is, there he is. See him? I don't know if you guys caught that. Or if I caught that, I should say. He's a little tiny guy. He's just sitting down there in the bushes. Oh, he's a baby. See, he's right at the foot of those green bushes. Bottom of the screen right now. He's just laying there in the sun. Cottontail. They are not very afraid of people. They're not like jackrabbits. Oh, look, there's babies everywhere.
Oh, look, there's babies everywhere.
Little baby cottontails hopping around. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. I'd have to go down there for a closer look. This is as far in as I can zoom. They don't move a whole lot, but they're tiny. They're like little kittens. But rabbits instead. It's a stupid thing to say, but look how, I mean their size. Look at that guy. See him on that rock? Right down there. Little tiny guy. Don't think I can get a good picture of him. There he goes, there he goes. As I was filming those baby rabbits down here, guy just walked by me that I was watching hike the trail. Looks like he's hiking up into the canyon. But that's okay. I'm gonna give him a little bit of a lead. Looks like he's just getting a workout. He's got headphones in and just hoofing it up there. I don't even think he had a water bottle on him. I don't think that's very smart. I always bring plenty of water and some food in case something happens. I get injured or lost. I'm not gonna get lost here, but I could get injured, and you got to be able to call for help, and you got to be able to sustain yourself until help arrives. I don't know if I got those little tiny bunnies on camera, but they're seriously like that big, like small, the size of my face. Just little guys. So cool. Just cottontail rabbits everywhere. A whole bunch of them running around with mom. there's another one. I don't know what the camera picked up. I'll have to find out when I edit. And I just realized I'm zoomed in right now, so that was incredibly close. There we go. Sorry about that extreme close-up. That's funny. Here's our view. Let's get back on the trail. Time is not on my side. So our trail goes up this way, right up the canyon. As you can see, there it is. This is the Bonneville Shoreline Trail, and you will almost miss it if you're not careful. It's a very small sign. Waterfall in season. Well, we are not going to see a waterfall up there. It's pretty dry. In season would be the 1st of spring, maybe March or February, somewhere in there. So I'll have to come up here for that next year. See if I can focus here. Sorry about that. Here you go. Let's go. Let's get this done. Let's do this. Oh, look at this guy. See if he'll let me take his picture. I used to catch these when I was a kid. These lizards. Still, dude. Just want your picture. I'm not going to steal your soul. Look at that guy go. Yeah. Lizards are out. I mean, snakes could be too. Right at the base of that. See him? I can hear a pheasant up in here. They cluck like chickens. I used to try to catch those when I was a kid, like catch them with my bare hands. As if I ever could. Now this little rock formation with all these little, I don't know, indentations, dimples. I had breakfast here last time I came up here. I didn't go any further than this. I sat right here and had breakfast under this tree. Very cool. I didn't go, I got to the top of this little hill here and then I stopped. I think our fellow hiker continued on the Bonneville shoreline portion of this trail. I don't see him up here. Well, guys, take a good look. This is as far as we go for two reasons. One problem I'm having is I just reached in my pocket to see what time it was. Realized I left my cell phone sitting back where I sat down and rested and filmed those rabbits, which is a quarter mile back that way and right on the trail, which means someone could easily swipe my cell phone. My whole life is in my cell phone, unfortunately. So that's one problem, and the other problem is that's also my way to tell time. I have no idea how much time I have to make it to the end of this canyon. So this is going to be a return trip in the fall. I want to make the end of this canyon, but I'm really worried about my cell phone getting stolen. And a lot of people are waking up and hiking these trails for exercise. I'm afraid they're gonna, oh look, somebody's cell phone. And whether out of good intentions or not, make my cell phone disappear. So here's our canyon behind me. I'm really kind of disappointed. I take my picture and prove I was at least here. That is a bummer. That is a bummer. Let me show you some of the surroundings. Here's our view. Some of the rock formations, and the peaks. The waterfall usually comes down right through there. I'm just surrounded by beauty. Take it slow so I don't make you sick. Frustrating, guys, frustrating. Can't believe I did that. I took it out of my pocket to see how much time I had. And also, it was in my back pocket, and I didn't want to break my cell phone. It's in a protective case, but the screen's not going to survive if I sit down on it. A couple years back, I hiked Waterfall Canyon with my kids. It's a canyon further to the south. It actually has a waterfall year-round. And I had it in my front pocket so I wouldn't sit on it. And I leaned against a rock, and that's all it took. Spiderwebbed the whole screen. So put it in my back pocket, took it out before I sat down. Forgot all about it. I think those rabbits and that hiker distracted me. I just got up and started hiking. That was stupid. Yeah, I don't have it. I've checked everything. And I know I left it back there, so unfortunately, my friends, I have to cut this hike short, but at least you know now about Jumpoff Canyon. And maybe we'll see some interesting stuff on the way back to my phone and the car. Disappointed, but I won't have time to go get my phone and then hike back up. It happens. You know, that's one thing that I've learned taking all of these hikes, all these trips. Something always goes wrong. I either forget something or something happens. It's best to be prepared for the worst. And at least I didn't hike miles and miles in and then realized I didn't have my phone. Not that it goes that far. It's about a 3.5 mile hike out and back. That's what it says online, and I didn't wear my Fitbit to measure the distance, so unfortunately I can't give that anything more to you than what the internet says, and we all know how accurate that can be sometimes. Anyway, the trip back is still an adventure, so let's get back there and see if my phone is still sitting there. Well, here's where we find out if it's still here. Right down in those rocks. Okay, let's see. Oh, there it is. Dun, 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 dun. It's still here. Hallelujah. It's a protective case, but the screen is vulnerable. Whew. I'm going to sit down for a minute and sort of mentally recover from that panic. It's pathetic how dependent we all are on this technology. But this is how I contact anyone. It's not just about convenience. If something had happened to me up in the canyon, I got injured, I would still have a signal and I'd be able to call for help, but it doesn't matter if I don't have my phone on me. It is now 10:02, so I have some time to find a spot to sit down and have a snack and rest for a little while before I head back to my car. Got it back. Well, I hiked around a bit, and honestly, this spot where I left my cell phone is the shadiest spot there is. The sun is starting to come up and drown everything in it. So, as you can see, there's not a lot of shade to choose from. I'm going to sit right here and relax. This rock, I think, it's nice and flat. Well, I'm sitting here in the shade, cooling off. Have to say, I'm kind of bummed. I've been planning this hike for a while, and with the kids in school for their last week, it's the only opportunity I really had to get away by myself, try to clear my head, meditate for a while, sort of come down off of disappointment. I hate it. I hate that I wasn't able to finish this. I don't like leaving anything unfinished. It really bugs me when it happens. So you can bet your bottom dollar, as Annie says, that I will be back to Jumpoff Canyon this fall when it's cooler and when the kids are back in school for a longer period of time. So sorry about that, guys, but hey, there's always the hike back. That'll be fun. The problem with this spot is it's right off the trail. Literally, it's the trail right here. My feet are right here. So, not very private, but that's all right. Nice view. Beautiful view. It's incredible. There's a lizard sunning himself on that rock right in the middle of the screen. You see him? He's kind of watching me. There it goes. So my son's school is right out there in the middle. I can see it with the naked eye and don't really want to zoom in on it. So we are back on the trail, heading back. It'll take me about a half hour to get to the car, and that time's at about right for me to go get him on time. It's about 10:25 in the morning. My pack, if you're curious, weighs probably 8 pounds today. It's all food and water, a few tools and supplies, a knife, but nothing that weighs really much at all. Now up here where the trails jump off, as I explained earlier, if we'd gone the other way, we would have come across this bridge that very obviously is built for spring runoff from the waterfall up that way. So I decided to go this way just for a different perspective on the trail. A lot more trees and shrubbery this way. Look at this. You come right off this trail and into an open view. That's really cool. Bam! Hello, Ogden! This is a pretty spot right here. That would have been a good spot to sit down, but maybe next time. Right, Cug? So I had to stop here and put a new battery in. The battery was getting low. Anyway, just stopped under this huge tree here. It's not really huge, but shady tree. Anyway, here's my view right now. Almost back to the car, just a little further. Okay, back on the trail. I think I've drank a good portion of my 2-liter water bladder today. to stay hydrated. I also have two 16-ounce water bottles on my pack. As I've said before, I don't carry them just for my sake. I also carry them in case I run into somebody who maybe came unprepared for whatever reason and really needs some water. Because this is a desert that I'm hiking in right now. A lot of people don't realize that about the Wasatch Front in Utah, that it's a desert. You have to head further east to run into the forest. Something just ran across the trail. I saw it briefly. I don't know what that was. As long as it didn't slither. Some pretty cool cliffs right here. It's hard to make them out with the sun, but quite amazing formations. Keep going to the trailhead. That's neat. Make a good picture. So from where I am right now, see if this will cooperate. See that little white expedition down there in the middle? That's where we are. So we're almost there. My son's school is just off that way, that direction. Almost there. Look at this rock. This is amazing. This composite boulder. It's probably man-made, but I'm not sure if that's concrete or if that's sediment from Lake Bonneville a couple years ago. Just kidding. But that's really cool. I like the way that's put together. Alright, where's our trailhead? Jumpoff Canyon trailhead. That way. I usually don't pay any mind to graffiti, but this says be cool or be cast out 3 times. Reminds me of high school. Amen, brother. That very well could be a song lyric, but quite a profound statement. It's the world we live in, isn't it? The Hollywood mentality. I call it the Church of Hollywood. Be cool or be cast out. As if the rest of us on the planet, the billions of people on the planet outside of Hollywood, outside of high school, are less important than the popular ones. This right here, this simple hike, is what brings me joy. Makes me feel like I belong. People never have. I just hiked. I came off the trail right there and hiked too far that way. There's no sign there saying come back this way. Here's the tiny sign that tells you where the trailhead is. Whoops. So I hiked probably up there where it kind of bends towards those utility poles, and realized I was hiking way past the trailhead. So there should be a sign right there. That's what I would recommend, saying the trailhead's this way. Because you come down here and there's nothing, and your tendency is to continue on down the road. So I had to backtrack to find this tiny sign. Down into the trees we go, my friends. Those cactus, they'll grow anywhere. Look at that, right in the middle of the rocks. That's crazy. I just passed a kid on the trail. He's probably about 20. He looked lost and bewildered. He's dressed all in black and has no backpack, no water with him, just wandering around looking lost. He stopped on the trail. It made me a little nervous. But he said, he sounded like he was high as a kite. He said, he's looking around. I said, little blue thing. I said, well, what is it?
It's just a little blue thing.
He wouldn't tell me what the little blue thing was. Jumpoff Canyon Trailhead. So, my guess is he dropped his drugs. He may even be a high school student. I couldn't tell, but he's up here all by himself. And he ain't right. He's definitely on something. I've been around so many people at my day job at the hospital. We're definitely on something. But I can spot it pretty easy. Boy, that boy screwed up. It's kind of a lonely, pathetic, sad existence, really. You can see how close this trail comes to people's yards. It's kind of awkward. We're almost there, my friends. We're there, my friends. We're there. We made it back. Okay. Well, my friends, we made it back just in time. I have about 10 minutes until I pick my son up. He is only about 5 minutes away, so worked out just right. It's a good thing I didn't hike back up into the canyon. Here comes our friend in the black t-shirt. Anyway, thanks for joining me on another hike. I really appreciate you guys watching these videos and giving input. I'm sorry about the disappointing ending to the hike, that we had to come back for my stupid cell phone, but you know, it happens. And I learned a few things, and we saw some cool wildlife. And that kid is just like heading into that neighborhood looking really confused, and oh my goodness, that poor guy. He's a slave to his addictions. He's really upset over the little blue thing he lost. Anyway, I'm going to put some music on, turn on the air conditioning, and we will see you next time on Utah Steve Outdoors. Hopefully for an overnighter this time, not just a day hike. Also check out my other YouTube channels. I'll throw them up here at the end of the video if you're interested in them. I have a daily vlog and an on the road channel. And thanks for joining me again, guys. I'm Utah Steve, and we'll see you out on the trail. I had a pop. I'll have to edit out the last time I said that. Let's take the glasses off. This brave little tree all by himself. I'll take a picture of him. Kind of sounded like Bob Ross right there, painting a picture. Pretty little trees, happy little clouds. There's a joyful little rose bush. I could only wish to have as much hair as he had. God, this thing sucks. Now, if we'd gone, you know where the, what am I saying? Shrubbery. What? It can't be done. You can see paragliding, parasailing. Paragliding is with the airplane thing. Anyway, let me fix my bra strap.